Imagine this. It's February 2018 in the UK. You've had a long day, and all you want is a bucket of that famous finger-licking good fried chicken. You head to your local KFC, your mouth already watering, only to find the doors locked and a sign that reads, "Sorry, we're closed." Confused, you check another KFC and another. They're all closed. What on earth is happening? This wasn't just a bad dream for a few hungry customers. It was a nationwide crisis for one of the biggest fast food chains in the world. A chicken restaurant had run out of chicken. How did this happen? How did KFC go from serving millions to shutting down hundreds of stores overnight? And more importantly, how did they turn this absolute disaster into one of the most brilliant marketing comebacks ever? Today, we are diving deep into the great KFC chicken crisis of 2018. It's a story about supply chains, public outrage, and the incredible power of a good apology. So let's set the scene. For decades, KFC UK had a reliable partner for their chicken delivery, a company called Bidvest Logistics. Everything was running smoothly. But in late 2017, KFC decided to switch things up. They signed a new contract with DHL, the global logistics giant, along with a company called QSL. The goal was simple: streamline the supply chain and save some money. DHL was tasked with managing the warehousing and transportation for all of KFC's 900 UK outlets from a single central distribution hub in a town called Rugby. On paper, it sounded efficient. One hub to rule them all. What could possibly go wrong? Well, as it turns out, pretty much everything. The switch officially happened on Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2018. But instead of love, what filled the air was chaos. The problem started immediately. The single distribution hub in Rugby was simply not equipped to handle the sheer volume and complexity of KFC's daily needs. Reports from insiders described a perfect storm of issues. Computer systems weren't properly integrated. There were delays in getting the necessary legal approvals for food transport, and there were even accounts of traffic accidents involving DHL trucks right outside the depot, causing massive gridlock. The result? A colossal bottleneck. Fresh chicken, the lifeblood of KFC, was piling up in the warehouse, unable to get out. Meanwhile, hundreds of restaurants were waiting for deliveries that would never arrive. By Friday, February 16th, the situation had become critical. Restaurants were running out of their most essential ingredient. They had no choice but to start closing their doors. The public reaction was, to put it mildly, intense. At first, it was just confusion. Then, as more and more stores closed, that confusion turned into a strange mix of frustration, disbelief, and surprisingly, a whole lot of British humor. The hashtag KFC crisis started trending on Twitter. People were making memes, sharing pictures of empty restaurants, and some were even jokingly calling the police to report the crime of a closed KFC. One police department in London had to tweet out a public service announcement asking people to stop calling 999 about the chicken shortage. It was a national story. The media had a field day with headlines like "The Great British Chicken Runout." It was a public relations nightmare. Your entire brand is built on one product and you failed to deliver it. This wasn't just an operational failure. It was an identity crisis. As the weekend rolled on, the crisis deepened. By Monday, February 19th, nearly 700 of KFC's 900 UK restaurants were closed. The financial hit was massive, estimated at over £1 million a day. But the damage to their reputation felt even bigger. Customers were angry, franchisees were losing money, and employees were out of work. The pressure was mounting on KFC's leadership to do something and to do it fast. This is the point where many companies would go into hiding, release a boring corporate statement, and hope it all blows over. They might blame their new supplier, DHL, and try to deflect responsibility. But KFC did something completely different. They chose a path of radical honesty and a healthy dose of self-deprecating humor. They decided to own the mess, completely and utterly. And this is where the story turns from a disaster into a masterclass in crisis management. On Friday, February 23rd, KFC took out full-page ads in major UK newspapers like The Sun and Metro. The ad was simple but genius. It featured an empty KFC bucket, but the iconic letters KFC on the front had been cheekily rearranged to spell FKK. Below this bold image was a heartfelt and refreshingly honest apology. It began, "A chicken restaurant without any chicken. It's not ideal." The ad went on to apologize to customers, thank their own team members and franchise partners for their hard work, and assure everyone they were working around the clock to fix the problem. They didn't blame DHL. They didn't make excuses. They just said, "We're sorry." The tone was perfect. It was human. It was funny. And it was incredibly sincere. The FKK ad was an instant sensation. It went viral globally. People who were just days before mocking the brand were now praising its response. Marketing experts called it a stroke of genius. Why did it work so well? First, it acknowledged the absurdity of the situation. "A chicken restaurant without any chicken" is a line that perfectly captured what everyone was thinking. Second, the rearranged letters showed that KFC didn't take itself too seriously. They were willing to laugh at their own monumental screw-up, which disarmed public anger. And third, the apology itself was genuine. It wasn't written by a team of lawyers. It felt like it came from a real person who was truly sorry. It treated the British public like adults who could appreciate a bit of wit and honesty. It was a massive gamble, but it paid off spectacularly. While the marketing team was winning hearts and minds, the operations team was in a frantic race against time. The single hub strategy with DHL was clearly a failure. The immediate solution was to bring back their old partner, Bidvest Logistics, to handle deliveries for about a third of the restaurants, primarily in the north of the UK. This immediately eased the pressure on the overwhelmed DHL hub in Rugby. It was a humbling move for KFC, admitting their new plan hadn't worked and going back to their old supplier. But it was a necessary one. Slowly but surely, the chicken started flowing again. Over the next week, restaurants began to reopen. KFC kept the public updated with a dedicated webpage showing which stores were open, and they continued to use their humorous, apologetic tone on social media. They turned the recovery process into part of the ongoing story. So what are the big takeaways from this whole feathered fiasco? First, it's a powerful lesson in supply chain management. Don't put all your eggs, or in this case, chicken, in one basket. The single distribution hub was a massive point of failure. Redundancy and having backup plans are crucial, especially when your entire business depends on a single perishable product. Second, it's a testament to the power of a good apology. In an age of corporate speak and blame shifting, KFC's honesty was a breath of fresh air. They owned their mistake, they apologized sincerely, and they did it with a personality that fit their brand. They understood their audience and knew that a bit of edgy humor would resonate far more than a stuffy press release. Ultimately, the great KFC chicken crisis of 2018 could have been a brand-killing disaster. It had all the ingredients for one: a massive operational failure, widespread public ridicule, and significant financial losses. But because of a bold, clever, and humble response, KFC managed to turn it all around. They didn't just recover, they arguably came out stronger. The FV-K ad won numerous advertising awards and is still cited as a prime example of brilliant crisis communication. They showed that when things go wrong, how you handle it matters just as much as the mistake itself. They proved that sometimes the best way to say you're sorry is with a bit of humility, a lot of honesty, and a perfectly rearranged logo. And that is a lesson that is, without a doubt, finger-licking good. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most fascinating business stories. See you next time.